Up next, the controversy in South Korea.
I don't know if our boxers do it ever.
And later, Roy Jr.'s emotional struggle to become his own man.
I just want to make my own place. And a lot of times, fathers forget that.
Since the age of 6, Roy Jones Jr. had been under the intense training regimen of his father, Roy Sr. He'd become a virtual fighting machine, on track to become a champion.
I had a love for winning. And to have that kind of love for winning is good because you have to have a love for winning to be a winner.
You work hard. I know because I put him through it. You know? You've been on pressure that, that you just, some of the training methods and techniques you can't imagine.
Armed with his father's lessons, Roy became a junior national champion. He was a budding celebrity in his hometown of Pensacola and a mentor to aspiring local boxers like Derek "Smoke" Gaynor.
He always came and got me and sat me down. You have to do this, or you're going to be in jail, or you're going to be dead.
He was always a role model. I think people looked to him because he was so different from everyone else in the community or in the neighborhood.
He had talent, maturity, and incredible ability. When the Olympic trials were held in 1988, there was little doubt Roy Jones Jr. would make the cut.
What I was impressed with more than anything, he was very decisive, and he knew where he wanted to go and how he wanted to get there.
He was just 19 years old, the youngest member of the 1988 United States Olympic boxing team. Roy arrived in Seoul wanting and expecting to go all the way. The years of training with his father had given him the kind of preparation few fighters could match.
He was there on a mission. The only thing he was concentrating on is winning the gold medal.
An Olympic gold medal was a childhood holy grail for him. It was something that he had been coached to do. It was his birthright.
He blazed his way through the early fights, never losing even a round as his friends and family watched from home in Pensacola.
We had signs all over town, and we knew that he would go there and win gold medal.
It was all a big hoopla, so I think I realized that, this was something major here.
Roy's dad was there with him in South Korea and watched from the stands as Roy entered the ring for the gold medal round.
Roy Jones, the 19-year-old from Pensacola, Florida.
He was facing a local hero, a South Korean fighter named Park Si-hun.
Jones building up points, peppering him with multiple punches. There's one.
He was countering the guy. He was frustrating the guy, moving around the ring. When he turned him, he would catch him with good shots.
Park Si-hun is taking a thrashing.
Just hurt him with a lot of hooks.
And should be 15 seconds away from the gold.
He was in his zone.
It is all over. Roy Jones.
Everybody was saying, well, we got another gold.
I look in my corner, I see the people. They had a council table where they look at the scorecards first, and the Koreans start jumping up and down. The referee was like, I can't believe they're doing this to you. And he said it under his breath because he's not supposed to really be talking.
Although Roy outscored his opponent in every round, the judges gave the fight to Park Si-hun on a vote of 3-2.
And that is very difficult to figure.
When it happened, it was kind of a shocker, you know what I mean? Really, I was kind of dismayed. Like, I was without thought, you know what I mean?
Even the winner seemed astonished by the decision.
The Korean knew he had lost the fight. He didn't want to raise his hand when they actually made the decision. But then he picked Roy up, and Roy, was, just put me down.
I had a translator to ask the guy right off, do you think he wanted to fight? She asked him. He said, no, I didn't know.
I think this is the greatest robbery I've seen since a great train robbery.
There have been thousands of horrible decisions in amateur boxing, but given the circumstances, the nature of the exposure, the fighter who was involved, the way the boxing competition had gone at those Olympics, it was the worst decision in the history of amateur boxing.
Roy left the ring covering his face with a towel to hide his tears.
He didn't want anyone to see him cry. He was too much of a tough guy for that. So when he put that towel over his face, it was just really crushing.
Everything I had sacrificed and worked so hard for, I missed a lot of stuff to get to that point. And it's like when you get to that point, they still rob you. You know what I mean? It's like that was a very crushing blow to me. That was like the worst day of my life so far.
Fans were outraged by the obvious injustice of the decision. As consolation, Roy was named the outstanding boxer of the Olympic Games. In an impressive display of goodwill, 50 Korean monks arrived to personally express their shame and sorrow.
And they would come up and just tell me that they were so sorry what happened to me, what their country did to me.
An investigation later found the 3 judges who voted against Roy had been wined and dined by Korean officials. 2 were banned from judging for life. But even if the world agreed that Roy had won the fight, the record books would always show that he had been second best. He considered giving up the sport he'd loved all his life.
I don't know if I'll box again ever.
He said he would never box again, and I thought his whole world came down, so it's like my whole world came down.
Roy grieved, and the father who had pushed him so hard to be a winner, this time consoled him in his devastating loss.
It was different than any other time. He used to try to tell me, not to stop crying. He was like, don't worry about it. You got more heart than 90% of the people that you ever seen in your life, so don't worry about it.
It really disturbed him, I knew it. And it even made me more mad for him, I was really disappointed and I was hurt for him,
It was a rare moment of tenderness between this hard-driven father and son. It would be among their last for many years to come. Up next, a big dog bites a little girl, and a father and son break apart.
Roy's father took a gun and went over and killed the dog.
It was like God gave me a plain vision. You can sit right here, and you're gonna die.
And later, Roy is branded a reluctant warrior, dazzling but distant in the ring.
It's like watching the Yankees take batting practice.
Roy is a boxer. Roy's not a fighter. Roy will not fight unless he gets in a confrontation where he has to fight.
After his controversial loss in the 1988 Olympics, Roy Jones Jr. was stunned to arrive home in Pensacola to a hero's welcome. The international debate over his silver medal had made him more famous, more beloved than winning the gold ever could have.
I think the whole city was at the airport waiting on him. The whole city. It was like unbelievable.
Everyone had signs. We just wanted to make him feel good and make him happy.
Everywhere he went, they was giving him gold medals. Not just his town, the whole country. I think that's what kind of helped him, come out of it.
Seeing the impact he'd had on other people's lives, Roy abandoned his thoughts of quitting the sport.
If I quit, how in the hell am I ever gonna get up in front of a group of people and tell them, if you get knocked down in life, get back up and keep going even stronger? You can't say that you don't quit when you got knocked down. Can you? I was like, dang. I knew at that point what I wanted to do now. I was gonna start back fighting.
Well, he really thought about everything that he was teaching me and showing me about no matter what, you have to continue to go on. Once he got back and had a chance to sit still and he thought about it, he said there's no way he's gonna let us down.
With his leadership and strength in the face of adversity, Roy had proved his maturity. 6 months later, he decided to turn pro. In the boxing world, Roy Jones became front-page news. He was soon flooded with management offers from the biggest names in the sport. In the end, Roy and his dad decided to maintain their independence and keep the business in the family. Roy Sr. became coach, trainer, manager, and promoter, but it was a mistake from the start. Roy Jr. was a grown man who felt his father was still running his life.
I think at first he thought I was trying to take his identity or trade places with him. I wasn't trying to trade places. I just wanted to make my own place. And a lot of times fathers forget that